Hello, great people. The political crisis between former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, and President Bola Tinubu is getting worse by the day. So much so that the El-Rufai family have called President Bola Tinubu the Pablo Emilio Escobar. Now, what does that mean? In what context? Are they referring to the Nigerian president as Pablo Escobar? Now, we'll be dissecting who Pablo Escobar is, then we'll be looking at the implication of all these statements and what could eventually happen to Nasir El-Rufai and also his son, Muhammad Bello El-Rufai, who happens to be a member of the House of Representatives representing Kaduna State. We'll be dissecting the associated issues and a whole lot more on this episode with your short plug, Dr. Omosholadeji. First, one thing we need to consider is that if you call the president of a country Pablo Emilio Escobar, what does it mean? That means that you are calling the president of a country a drug lord. It means that you are calling the president of Nigeria a criminal. What it also means is that you are calling the president of Nigeria somebody that has earned his money through shady means. So the word Pablo Escobar means a lot. And I'll read something for you about Pablo Escobar, which I believe you can see on your screen right now. And it says that now Pablo Escobar was dubbed the king of cocaine, that Escobar was one of the wealthiest criminals in history, having amassed an estimated net worth of 30 billion US dollars by the time of his death, equivalent to 70 billion US dollars as of 2022 with his drug cartel in the United States in the 1980s and early 1990s. Now, you will recall that there have been a lot of issues as regards President Bola Tinubu's alleged cocaine dealings, drug dealings, when he was in the United States in the 1970s, that President Bola Tinubu forfeited at that time over 400,000 US dollars when the US authorities were investigating cocaine dealings. And recently, there was some document that was revealed that the US tagged President Bola Tinubu is agent, that the CIA tagged President Bola Tinubu is active agent. Now, the El-Rufai family are trying to eat Bola Tinubu from that perspective. Now, let us look at it from the true sense of it, in the sense that if Nasir El-Rufai is having a running political battle with President Bola Tinubu, and you, the son, Bello El-Rufai, is now calling the president Pablo Escobar, now you need to be ready for the consequence of that, in the sense that, you see, the president of Nigeria is a very powerful man, in the sense that it is the president of Nigeria, as empowered by the constitution, is like a god on earth. So if the president of Nigeria has been given so much powers, in Nigeria, the word of the president is like a law. If the president gives a command to the chief of army staff, even if the chief of army staff know that that command is wrong, he will say yes and go and carry it out. Because at that point in time, the word of the president is like the law. If he orders the inspector general of police or the director of DSS, they will go and carry out such order. In that kind of a political setting, in that kind of what we can call a flawed system, where man is greater than the institution, where man has more leverage over the institution rather than otherwise, then you need to be very careful of what you say as regards calling the president Pablo Escobar. And the reason is that if an ordinary person says it, an ordinary person that nobody knows, maybe the person can get away with it. But if you are a lawmaker and you say it, assuming but not considering that even what you are saying is the truth, I believe that Muhammad Bello El-Rufai should have the wisdom to know how to separate his father's battle from himself, in the sense that Muhammad Bello El-Rufai has even fought his father's battle, apparently more than his father himself, in the sense that if you look at the way he has handled the matter between President Bola Tinubu and his father, he has always intervened, so much so that the wife of El-Rufai, his mother, intervenes at one point that if your father were to be in this government, would you have been, attacking this government like that? Will you be saying all these things that you are saying? So it shows that the man, Muhammad Bello El-Rufai, is not applying wisdom to this thing. And the true sense of it is that if Bola Tinubu want to tame El-Rufai, he will do it and nothing will happen. He would, and that is why we have always clamored for a just and equitable society. If a man have called you to come and serve in his government, that okay, Nasir El-Rufai, I need you in my government. And when the man wins the election, the man didn't allow you to serve in his government for reason best known to him. It only shows that politics is a game of treachery. In the sense that if you look at Nasir El-Rufai, he too has betrayed some people. I'm still coming to the aspect of Bola Tinubu. The Nasir El-Rufai has betrayed some people as well. So it shows that politics is a game of treachery. They betray and, they betray each other. In fact, not only themselves, they're also betraying the Nigerian people, because if you promise renewed hope and people are in a state of hopelessness, is that not, is that not a betrayal of trust on the part of you and the Nigerian people? So if Nasir El-Rufai is not winning, in the sense that if he's not a member of the cabinet, he's supposed to go back and strategize for 2027. But this one that they are suspecting that perhaps the presidency wants to kind of like arrest Bola Tinubu, and that is why his son made that statement. The truth is that don't let us always encourage bad government. If during the days of Buhari that El-Rufai, the senior El-Rufai, the former governor, has a good relationship with Buhari, and Buhari was arresting people, arrested Showore, arrested Nnamdi Kanu, tried to arrest Sunday Igboho and all that, and nobody was saying anything, and the impunity was going on and on. You don't forget that Buhari was setting a precedence, and that precedence has been set. So if Bola Tinubu wants to arrest you, even if you have not done anything significantly wrong, nothing will happen. Because when Buhari was doing it, you guys kept quiet. When Buhari was ruling with impunity, you guys kept quiet. You didn't say anything. It was okay for you. Now, Bola Tinubu is at the helm of affairs. You now want to be screaming for. You've forgotten that the institution remains the same. The power of the president remains the same. The political antecedent remains the same. The precedence has already been set. So what I can say is for El-Rufai to take it easy, both the junior and the senior El-Rufai. If he keeps confronting the president of Nigeria in the manner at which they are doing it, trust me, in little or no time, there will be great reaction from the presidency, and it will not augur well for El-Rufai. And the junior El-Rufai, the son Mohammed Bello El-Rufai, should not forget that he doesn't have he doesn't have immunity, rather, as a member of the House of Representatives. And one major thing that we must take away from this on the aspect of Bola Tinubu is that it shows us that we should always try and live the best of life. In the sense that it is, it is sad that a president of a country will now be called Pablo Escobar. And why is it that if anything is going to come out about Bola Tinubu, it's always on the negative? Why? If you are to talk about his certificate, there's question mark. If you are to talk about his history, there's question mark. His name, there's question mark. His state of origin, there's question mark. Why is it? And you want to imagine that, okay, could all of these things be true? Or could some of them be true? Now, if some of them are true, the big question is, how could somebody that has such baggage on him find himself to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? That's one thing we need to ask ourselves, that, okay, all these accusations, drug lord, certificate issue, state of origin, name controversy and all that, is all of them true? Okay, let's say not all of them is true. Is some of them true? Because all these things are grievous issues. Now, if some of them is true, then it questions our leadership recruitment process. How did such a man find a way to become the president of a country? And you cannot detach the baggage of the president from the baggage of the country, because he's the one at the helm of affairs. So if people are seeing the president of Nigeria as one Pablo Escobar, which is like, a criminal, a drug lord and all that, then are you surprised when you are traveling and there's no respect attached to your passport? I recently did a story, as regards what happened in Kenya, as regards a Nigerian woman, and how the Nigerian president was apparently disrespected. Are you surprised? These are some of the reasons that we had such disrespect, especially in these days of social media, that the news is all over the place. So we need to begin to consider our leadership recruitment process, and we need to always live a good life, knowing fully well that luck, destiny, fate opportunity may just shine on us tomorrow. And if we have not lived a good life, then it will always come back to hurt us. But then I would also say that President Bola Tinubu should not act ultra vires. That means that he should not go beyond his powers. And when I say powers, I mean his legitimate powers, his constitutional powers, in the sense that don't say because somebody abused you, you now want to rain hell and fire on that person. No. He needs to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. But I can assure you one thing, in the sense that I can assure you that very soon, sooner or later, the presidency of Bola Tinubu will close in on El-Rufai, and the signals are already there. El-Rufai is not in the best of terms with the governor in his state, and there is a corruption prosecution against the close associate of El-Rufai when he was governor. Some of them have been remanded in prison. The governor is aligning with President Bola Tinubu, just as Ganduje decided to align with Buhari when Kwakwanso hand over power to him as the governor of Kano State. Now, the governor of Kano State, instead of aligning with El-Rufai, is aligning with President Bola Tinubu. So they will supply the presidency information, they will close in on El-Rufai, and at the end of the day, they will tame him sooner or later. So I won't be surprised if they come for El-Rufai as regards his stewardship as governor of Kaduna State. And the presidency will just feign ignorance as if it's none of their business. But they won't know, the public wouldn't know that it is even the presidency that would have apparently been firing the governor of Kaduna State to unearth different kind of files and, the different kind of records against El-Rufai. But one thing I can say is that even if Tinubu is not aware that somebody called him Pablo Escobar, even if Tinubu does not want to act, one thing I can assure you is that the Tinubu boys will get their pound of flesh. Because every government usually have his boy. We have the Buhari boys, and their tenure is over now. The Tinubu boys will not let this to just go like that. They will get their pound of flesh, and you see what will happen in the days and months ahead. If this opposition continue, that El-Rufai is making it in the news every day, is making the headlines every day, they'll find a way to cut him to size. And if the weight and power of the president falls on El-Rufai, trust me, he will feel the weight. But then it's the same APC family. El-Rufai is one of the people that installed President Bola Tinubu on Nigerians, so they should face themselves. May the best happen to Nigeria at this point in time and always. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. I have great interesting videos coming your way. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.